6,764 miles on the clock of the bunny. And this disappointingly unattractive yard just behind the docks. You can see there's a crane there. That's the Kolsky River just between those two buildings, and that's as close as I'm going to be able to get to the Barents Sea. A couple of miles north of here is a military checkpoint. The boy soldiers, 3 or 4 of them, completely bemused by the sight of me arriving with my passport, to be hoping to be allowed through that checkpoint and up the road. There's another 15 or 20 miles of road up the river, and I would imagine some kind of a view of the sea at the top of it, but you know what, it's not going to happen. They didn't know what to do with me, they didn't know what to make of me, except to say no. And I taught them a few naughty English words in return, but you know, you have to accept it. And I've got a few miles to travel, so this is as good a place to start as anywhere. It's where the road ends, just there. So that's where the journey begins. I've just got to do this joke, but I've finally managed to get a bird back to my hotel room. And there she is. Well, now I really do have a reason to thank those guys on the checkpoint for turning me back, because instead I went up the west coast to Snezhnogorsk. Snezhnogorsk. Look at it closely. Don't go up that road, which is a real shame. I'd love to recommend it because it's a fantastic road, lovely little road, and it's the best tarmac I've seen in Russia. But when I got to Snezhnogorsk, I was stopped at a checkpoint. I had been a very naughty boy. From here, from the turning off the road, is a restricted area. I had infringed on the code, Article 51 of the Code of the Russian Constitution. I have been not interrogated but questioned. It was 16 members of the security services. Some of them were in militia uniform, some of whom were NVD, which I think is the replacement for the KGB. Some of them were in Navy uniform, and a couple were in civvies. One with the full long leather jacket, who came and stood and looked very, very dodgy indeed. Unbelievably scary. Bloodless lips, pale skin, very, very ugly. It was no fun at all being asked questions by him. Believe me, I have answered questions more than 3 times. Answered the same questions more than 3 times to more than 3 different sets of people. And then there was one guy at the end who pulled up in a car, and by this stage I was getting on well with the other 15. They were all late home. Their shifts had finished hours ago. And I said, "This one, James Bond, James Bond!" So I think perhaps he was a member of the Russian security services as well. 4 hours later, they let me go with apologies and smiles. I've met more Russians in the last 4 hours than I have in the last 3 days. Go and see them. They're lovely people. Friendly, courteous, interested. It'll take a while to get out. I've missed me supper, but I've had fun. Oh, and while I remember, don't tell them, but I did see the Barents Sea. Didn't get it on tape, but I've seen it, which is enough for me. I better get going.